your concern? Is it your concern that the reduction in speed limits is across the board, or is it how it's being done, or a mix of both?
No, it's how it's being done and how effective it's going to be, Jerry. The public needs, this is going to cost us money. It's going to cost us money as a local authority. It's going to cost us money as a state. This isn't happening just in Kerry. It's happening across the country. And I question the effectiveness of the money that's going to be spent on doing this review in terms of yielding results. I want our roads to be safe, Jerry. I want our urban areas to be safe. I want particularly our schools to be safe. But I don't believe that the changes that are being made are going to make our roads any safer. And the reason for me saying that, Jerry, if you drove into Killarney this morning or to Tralee or wherever you are in your station this morning, and I'm sure that when you came to Daly's roundabout as you would every morning, you weren't going much faster than 30 kilometres an hour in A because you couldn't, because of traffic.
Yeah.
And when it comes to places unfortunately, what I feel that we've seen over the last number of years is we have seen speed reductions and speed limits becoming a revenue-making exercise for the state. And I'm going to give you two examples of what's going to be happening where I feel that motorists are going to be penalised for trying to do the best they can, but being put in an impossible situation whereby the speed limits are dropping so much. So I'll give you an example now of one of the proposals that is on this proposed speed limit review. The Killarney bypass. When you hit Daly's roundabout, the speed limit there is 50 kilometres. Between Daly's roundabout and the swimming pool, it's going to be 60. Between the swimming pool and the fire station, it's going to be 100. From the fire station, then for another couple of 100 metres, it's going to be 60. Then it's going to be 80, and then 50. There's going to be 6 different speed limits on the Killarney bypass after this review, if it's implemented as is.
Is that at different times of the day, or is it all
no, that's going to
just
be,
different sections, different speed limits?
Different sections, different speed limits. Because where the periodic speed limits are going to be coming in is particularly outside our schools that are located within urban areas. So if you take Fossa School, for example, there has been a lot of upgrades in Fossa over the last number of years, and Fossa School, as I see it now, is now protected, and rightly so, by speed ramps and flashing lights and things like that. And rightly so, it's something that the school had looked for a long time. But what we're going to see there now is you're going to see 100 kilometres on the lead into Fossa. It's going to change into 60. And then as you come to the school zone, it's going to be 50. But within that 50 zone, you're going to have, while the school is on in the morning and in the evening at the busy times, while the school term is sitting, it's going to be 30. So within a short distance, at a certain time of the year, you're going to have 4 different speed limits that the motorists are to be totally vigilant of and aware of. Because, Jerry, as we have seen before, and as we speak of Fossa, it's not that long ago that we had a district court judge who slammed speed bans for saying that where they were located in Fossa, right within where the speed limit dropped twice, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. And it was a pure and utter revenue-making exercise. There is a speed limit, there is a speed ban constantly located within the village of Farnfore. I've never seen an accident or heard of an accident happening at that location in many, many years, if ever. Yeah. And it is constantly located there because it's seen as an easy place to catch people. And you might say to me, Jerry, well, what are we going to do to try and make sure that places are protected? We had a problem, Jerry, in Guineaguilla, where we had a pedestrian crossing, but it wasn't what I would call protected. Unfortunately, when a speed survey was carried out, it was found that cars were going in excess of the speed right at the location of the school. So what we done was the principal did her job, came to us as a municipal district, lobbied us for speed safety measures. We put in a tabletop ramp right on the pedestrian crossing, and that has been a great success in that area. Yeah. And it has helped. Okay,
and that's an example of a local area responding to what they're seeing on the roads. But what's your response to the argument that, look, all right, changing limit from 50 to 30 might inconvenience people. You're talking about putting speed vans there and that concern. But the facts are the facts in terms of road accidents. If you hit a pedestrian at 50 miles per hour, let's say, compared to 30 miles per hour, just use the miles per hour, it releases almost 3 times the kinetic energy, making crashes far more lethal and destructive. You have some hope of surviving at 30, maybe an injury, minor injury. 50, you're most likely dead. That's the difference. That's what we're trying to inculcate, that people slow down, are aware of their surroundings, and that's why the report is suggesting, or the maps are suggesting, these are the reductions in these areas.
I don't disagree with that, Jerry, but I have to question its effectiveness, and I have to question the statistics around, when we talk about accidents on our roads, as you will agree, because the facts show us, the majority of our accidents are happening in more rural locations at, we'll say, late or early times in the morning or the evenings. And every time we preface, talking about, road safety, we also have to acknowledge that, of course, Jerry, far too many people are tragically dying on our roads, and we unfortunately even had one in our own county yesterday. My sympathy goes, to that family and the people affected by that, because it is deeply tragic thing to happen for somebody to be out on the road and to unfortunately lose their life. But you have to ask yourself, Jerry, is our urban centres and is the areas that are being targeted here, are they the leading cause of deaths on our roads? And the answer and the statistics will show that it is not. But when you take areas then that aren't included in this review, where I feel we do have problems, if you take Anablaha National School, for example, where we have speed issues on that road passing the school, if you go on either side of Anablaha National School today, you will see more signs telling people to slow down than you would at an airport, to be quite frank, because there's loads of signs there. I've even paid for signs myself out of my council's allocation.
Jackie, would you like to see in the areas where they're talking about, let's say, the alternating speed limits at different times of the day, the use of the electronic signs, which let you know how fast or slow you're going, telling you to slow down?
Absolute waste of time. Yes, waste of time. There's more of those electronic speed signs I've paid for myself out of my council's allocation, and I tell you, I won't do it anymore because people have become so immune. Because people have become so immune to them, Jerry, and they take no notice.
Isn't that a problem then of people's behaviour? It's human behaviour, and drivers' behaviour needs to be tackled rather than maybe changing the speed limits. If people are ignoring the advice, ignoring a sign that tells you you're going too fast, then isn't that a problem?
But it is a problem, and I never said that it wasn't a problem. It is a problem, and generally it is what's causing accidents on our roads is our own behaviour. And the only way that we're going to change people's behaviours is basically through enforcement, really, Jerry. And the electronic signs would work if they were actually catching your speed and things like that. They undoubtedly would work. But the flashing signs that you're not getting caught for your speed, it's not working, Jerry, and they're everywhere, and people have become immune to them. But again, I come back to the practical road safety measures that are helping. If you take what we've done in Guinea-Bissau and what has been replicated even in the likes of Fossa School now and places like that, those things work. Actual impediments in people's way to make them slow down. They are effective, they work, they have stood the test of time. Changing limits on the roads, changing the heads of signs, Jerry, on our roads, indicating what speed we should be doing now.
Okay.
And Jerry, having 6 different speed limits on the Killarney bypass, certainly, in my opinion, isn't going to change anything or make effect or make. But my big thing is, and big message I want to get across on your radio station this morning, Jerry, is please, to the public listening, go on to the council's website, look at the public consultation, look at the maps that are there, and please, if you feel strongly enough about it, you have until Friday the 7th of August at 3 p.m. to make a submission. And I would appeal to the people of Kerry to look at this, inform yourself, because you're the people who are using the roads in Kerry every day, and this is going to affect you, and you need to be made aware of it. And I want people to do that, Jerry.
You can email roads@kerrycoco.ie, or you can go into any Kerry County Council office and look at the maps and make your observation there. 7th of August at 3 p.m.